Hey everybody, this is going to be a quick video on how to write 400 and 800K Macintosh floppy disk images to 1.44 meg floppy disks in Windows. Actually, you can write 1.44 meg images to them too, but the point is that you can also write 400 and 800K images, which I didn't even think you could do before because you can't read 400 and 800K disks in Windows, but you can actually write them to 1.44 meg floppies just fine, and it'll format it and treat it like it was a 400 or 800K disk inside of your target Macintosh. So you're going to need a couple of things. First, you'll need some software. So you'll need HFV Explorer, which is a free app, and I'll link to that in the description. And you'll also need some disk images. In this case, it's going to be Mac Paint, because there was a user on Reddit that wanted to know how to write Mac Paint specifically to a floppy in Windows. So this specific one is a DSK. It can also be an .img or .image, so keep that in mind. Some disk images I haven't gotten to work, like some system software I've tried. I think the difference is whether or not it was done with disk copy 4.2 or disk copy 6, but just try it out with a bunch of different images. Your mileage may vary. Yeah, so I got this specifically from Macintosh Garden, which is a great place to get old Mac apps. But there's also Macintosh Repository and WinWorld PC, so just check any one of those. Next thing you're going to need is a 1.44 meg floppy. Like I said before, they can't be 400 or 800K. But as long as you've got some random old 1.44 meg floppy, this one's specifically an old Windows, Intel, something, doesn't matter. As long as you got one, it should work just fine. And then a USB floppy drive. And that's about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my floppy in the drive. So now in HFV Explorer, you can do a bunch of different things with it. Specifically what I've used it for, what it can do is read Mac file systems. So if you have a floppy in the drive, all you have to do is hit the refresh button, which in this case is F5, and it'll start reading from the disk. It doesn't do it automatically, unfortunately. But once it does, it should, in a second here, it should mount it up here. So from here, you can see you even have all of your old Mac icons there. You can drag stuff directly into onto your system, or vice versa, which is really nice. You can also read and write images. So in this case, if you wanted to read it and make it into an image file, you can do that and choose your volume file path, blah blah blah. But what we want to do in this video is write. So you'll hit this button and then go find the file. So we've got our Mac Paint DSK. By default, this is going to look for DSK files, HFV files, and HFX files. If you don't have one of those, that's okay. You can just go into all files, and then if you have a .img, that'll show up, and it should work. I've had it work. So in this case, it's a DSK, so there's no issues. And go ahead and hit OK. It'll just say ready to format. It'll destroy your data, blah, blah, blah. And then wait for about 30 seconds while it writes it. Okay, so all this is saying is that if you have your image mounted and then also you have this floppy mounted, there might be some issues. So this is just telling you to remove the floppy, and now you should be fine. Now we could take this disk and put it into a old Mac. In this case, I'm going to put it into an SE30, and I'll show you that it works. Alright, so I have the disk right here, and I've got my SE30, so let's go ahead and put it in. And like that, there is Mac Paint. So go ahead and open it up just to show you that it works. And yay! So. And also take note that even though this is a 1.44 meg floppy, it's imaging a 400K image, so you still only have 400K available total in the disk. So don't think that you can just image a 400K disk on and you'll have a bunch of extra room. But at least you can do it, so there you go.